Ah, hey, hey, people. Walk on there. So, we're out here at Wani Mama. Hi. Hello. Good evening. Yeah, so with the hotel on the thing, on the front page and thing. So, people are just sitting down and chilling because we had a fairly busy day. Um, I made some oxtail and some curry goat, and we're sold out of oxtail and only have like one serving left of goat. And this was our menu today. I'll put it right on the front page just so because let me see. Yeah, this is the menu. Yeah, so as people are walking by they can see what's going on. So far, how has it been? Wow. Um as I said previously, I'm not really I've never been like, oh, me can cook down the place kind of person. And I never really thought I wanted a restaurant either, but only that I've started this restaurant do I really realize a lot of things. So the restaurant kind of look a lull at the moment, so it's just me, manager, and a few other people because most of the orders came. Eight so far. Let me tell you, we have regulars. We have this one guy that from the time he discovered us, he eats here breakfast and dinner. And if he knows that we're going to be closing, we're going to have our day off one day, what he does is he orders enough food to take him through. So thus far, it has been a very good experience because I'm working with a limited amount of resources, space. You know, this has taken up a tremendous amount of my time and my energy. Yes, Penelope, everybody loves Jamaican food. But what I notice is people here know Jamaican food and they know what it's supposed to taste like. And once they get that first bite and them say, yes, this is the place, they go back and them tell them friend, they go back and they tell their colleagues. We have repeat customers. Everyone who has come thus far are repeat customers. We have no advertisement. It was a soft opening, so we haven't done any advertising, any real like any kind of anything broadcast because there's still things that we need to make it really like on and popping. Like we need to have the Wi-Fi. I ordered and paid for a back bar for the television thing. Me no know what happened to the man, but him fail me. That's all I can say. Um, and it's heartbreaking because I try to give the Tanzanian people as much of my business as possible, but some things just don't work out. Some things work out, some things don't work out, and you just have to roll with the punches. Um, what he wants to deliver as a finished product is not a finished product that we discussed. So that's still the out. And I kind of need that back bar because that's where the juices are gonna I need to be training these ladies how to make the drinks. Thus far, the kitchen ladies are trained up as much as they can be trained up. So I spend most of my time in the kitchen, teaching them how to do things, how to put things together, how to present the meal, because a lot of what we do is visual. We can't come out here and say Jamaica and not properly representing the taste of the food, the look of the food, the quality of the food. So far, it has been a fantastic experience. I am humbled by the experience because I spent my entire life as a professional eater. So I know what food's supposed to taste like. And you know, I got, when I had Jojo and we moved to Tanzania, we don't really have much option. So I had to do my cooking and, get strong on the cooking so she know what the food is supposed to taste like. Not that I'm never strong before, but I don't know what I mean. But like making sure that she knows this is brown stew chicken, this is how it's supposed to taste like, this is supposed how it's supposed to look, this is how it's made, this is how you prepare the chicken, this is how you clean the chicken, this is how you separate the chicken parts, this is, all the things from the beginning to the end. So those things have helped me a lot. And like for the past 6 months, I've had 3 young ladies at the Exodus house that have been helping me to make coconut oil, bami, jams, jellies, the sea moss gels, things like that. So we have been running our own little production so that we would be ready when it was time to go. And that has been helpful because I have these young ladies who are helping to train the other young ladies. Like, no, this is how Mama Jojo clean chicken. You have to cut it this way. You have to remove out the back part. You have to take out all that fat. You have to, so they know how to do it to my standards, and that has been very helpful. Um, it is not as overwhelming as I thought it would be. At least not the work part of it, but the other part. So there are lots of moving parts in a restaurant. If you don't know, you have to know how to purchase goods. You have to know the difference between what you pay, what you put into it, and what you sell it for, and how you expect to get your benefits out of it to pay the salaries, not just to cover the salaries and the rent, but also to cover the markup. So you have to have those things in your wheelhouse. um, so marketing, the ambience is too, like, there are people who have come here and, them said this is where I'm going to be every day, and they every single day them show up, them order them jerk chicken pizza, them take a little corner for themselves, and them tansa back, right? But this ambiance is something that people have really genuinely enjoyed. They like the atmosphere. They like it when the music is, just low rockers, reggae and thing. And so there is oh my finger to that song. Yeah. So that has been gratifying, right? But also it's like you're on a unicycle that you have to stay on top of every day, because out here in Africa, electricity is a nightmare. It is a glorious nightmare. Um, like the way how we run through electricity units is unreal. So I have my own ways of like trying to mitigate the costs of things, but electricity in Africa and the developing countries, Lord God, it alone will mad you. So far, what do we have? We have one, two refrigerators. We have the kitchen appliances. We have one, two, three, four air conditioners. We have an air curtain. We have, I not even know how much light we have. Um, but it takes a lot to run and operate a business like this. And by the time I opened, I was like pretty much drained, like physically, mentally, and financially, because it takes a lot to do what I've done here, especially as a foreigner, especially that, we depend on Tanzanians that we hire to help us get through. So, salaries have to be paid, and material, equipment has to be purchased, and then material has to be bought. So, like, in order to run an effective restaurant, you can't just store up meat and meat and meat on top of meat. You want fresh meat, you want fresh produce, And so you have a food cost, a daily food cost, sometimes every other day, but a daily food cost. So you have to buy fresh things, like things that we put in our food, the avocados, the green onions, the tomato, all them something that you have to get them fresh, right? And then the sea moss, you know, the way we store it and the way we take care of it has to be done properly. So you cannot, there's no room for error. There's no like slip and slide and go whoops. There's none of that. So I have to be on top of the kitchen team, the inventory, like how are they storing the food? What are they doing with food that they cut? What are they doing with things that they didn't use right away? You know, how do we mitigate loss? And I would say that having the restaurant management in my background has helped tremendously, because it helps to know what is shrinkage, what is lost. So now you know, like, okay, when I'm preparing food, I'm not going to go ahead and buy no, 20 kilograms of goat and expect that people are going to come and buy that. I always had that mentality. And I think most Jamaican people do. That's why when you go to a Jamaican restaurant, them always say, we not have that, because they have to mitigate their loss. Because if people come and they buy it, then them not have it. But at the same time, if they make too much and people don't come and buy, then it's a loss they have to swallow. And you can only eat so much oxtail. So you can't really cook it and put it down and wait upon all the people to come. So cooking less and having a smaller menu has helped tremendously. So we have a very, very small menu, and most of it uh, rotates around jerk chicken and fresh foods, right? But the way how I prepare it is to change the flavor profile, so every dish has a different flavor. So the jerk chicken pizza, it tastes like jerk chicken. It has a different. It's lovely. I add things to it to give it a different profile. Then I have a Caribbean chicken salad, which a sandwich rather, that is like a Puerto Rican jabarito, where they put the meat between the plantains. But instead of doing meat, I do like a seared, crispy chicken. So I smoke the chicken, then I then I debone it, then I sear it, then I put my sofrito and all of my different flavors on top of that, and that flies like nothing. Then I have what else do I have? I have Caribbean a Caribbean salad. If you go over to our Instagram page, you will have a look at what that looks like. And if food hasn't made you happy in a long time, you're in Dar es Salaam, you want to come and check us out, because all I see are smiles, and the food make me happy. When I eat my own food after I prepare it, I'm a know say it delicious and it good. Oh man, I'm a clean my plate, I'm a laugh, you know. And that has been the response. A lot of people, the plates come back to the kitchen shine, and we do have Jamaicans in the area and people who've lived in South Florida and people who've lived all over the place. So they know what the food is supposed to taste like. So when them come up inside here and them come today, them clean them plate, them come back tomorrow and them clean them plate, that's really, really humbling, you know. So so far I'm hey Rashid. Yes, I'm here. I'm here, Magameni Rashid. Rashid is saying he hasn't seen me in a long time. Well, it took me about 6 months to build out this restaurant. This restaurant had it had no corners, so I had to extend walls on that side. I had to tile that middle portion. I had to add doors. I had to run the electricity. I had to run electricity probably 3 or 4 different times because it's sandwiched between like two buildings. So, and then material for everything that I want to route and rewire, and blood of mercy. I don't know how I made it through. And so I didn't really get a break between, um, I didn't get a break between the building and the the launch. So it was like, okay, yesterday I was doing construction and painting, and then to them I get up and open the restaurant. And then like day by day it was just different things. So like the job fair, and after the job fair, then taking the chefs to the house and like showing them how to do things, how to prepare things, how to and testing them to see how do they put out their dough. Like I'm no professional baker, as I said earlier, I'm a professional nyama, but my mother, she is a is an amazing baker, and I grew up watching her and learning from her and seeing how she put her dough together to make bread, and I can make an amazing bread. So there are different kinds of doughs for different kind of things. I make a great patty as well. My patty is lovely, and so I used to make patties for Jojo, so she know what a beef patty is and what it's supposed to taste like. Because when we moved to Tanzania, there was no no Africano. It's not close to the ocean, but I want people to feel that way when they come here. Yeah, so I wanted Jojo to know what a patty tastes like. So I got really good at perfecting the crust, perfecting the filling, and then last Saturday I had patty Saturday. So Party Saturday is a way of like getting people through the door, and then and then making the sea moss drinks for them to wash it down with, and things like that. So any little thing that I could do to like promote the consumption of the sea moss in plus the Jamaican food, it has been helpful. So let me tell you how Party Saturday went. Because I do not have an industrial kitchen, I don't have a dough sheeter, I don't have a one of those big industrial mixers, um, and I don't have an industrial oven, and I don't have a proofer. So what what happened was I took one of the cooks from here that have been training how to do the baking, and we started on Thursday in our preparation of like on Friday in our prep for Saturday, so that she could see how to do it, how I do it, and then you know so I would turn it out in like batches. So on Saturday what I did was I had jerk chicken jerk chicken patty. That was nice. I had beef patty, and I had a jerk mushroom vegan patty. And yeah, I took the liberty of going the extra step for the vegan folks. Um, if you're going into any business, any restaurant business these days, you have to be conscious that people are, trying to stay healthy, and you need to be prepared to help them do that. You can't just push on meat on the people them all day long. And so just talking about myself, me, there are certain things I shouldn't eat, couldn't eat, and mustn't eat, but because of the food choices in this area, you not have no choice but to eat what it is, right? So what I did was create a kind of restaurant that I think people who think like me would like to see, which is lighter, satisfying, flavorful, delicious food. So I made that jerk mushroom patty, and with the jerk mushroom patty, I substituted the milk, and the other and some what am I do? I use coconut milk and coconut oil and cornstarch rather than egg and milk in the dough, and it came out just as flaky, just as crusty, just as umami, just as as what we loved. And so because I had a small amount of patties, and I don't have a what do you call it, that I don't have one of those machines for heating, for keeping the patty warm. The food warmer, the bites food warmer. I ain't got one of those. So what I did was I pre-ordered. So I made the patties and I gave people like, listen, this may I make, place your order, and people were able to place their order. So by the time we got to baking, they were sold. So that was amazing. I had people text me, I'm not coming today, I'm coming tomorrow, put in the freezer, and they got their patties. So that has been, that's how I did it. And I think that's how I maybe need to continue to do it, because other than that, we can't absorb that kind of loss to like how a dozen patty where we can't sell. Number one, we can't make a dozen patty where we can't sell. So what we sell, what we make, it have to sell. So my concept is pretty much just playing to the things that what are my limitations? That's my concept. So my number one limitation is the size of the kitchen here is extremely small. So how do I play to that concept is we cook outside. People love that, so now that's a selling option rather than an obstacle. So I'm gonna put the jerk pan out a door where the whole village can walk past and sister me a jerk chicken. And believe you me, that helps. Like when the pan a go on and the smoke a go on and I put my little speaker out there and the people them come out and see what go on, and and I send a little piece to the neighbor and a little piece over here. Those things have helped, right? And so like again, what I said was playing to my strengths. Like right now, my vulnerabilities is I don't have a lot of resources, and that is a fact, right? And I don't think there is anyone who starts a business and go, yeah, I have all the money in the world to do everything I want to do. No, I know so it work, but so you have to be able to like dance in the rain. You have to be able to like keep rowing the boat, and on top of that, I have my employees, I have the utilities, and I have the overhead. I have JoJo. I have the other staff at the Exodus house. I have my staff needs in order to do the things that I need to do. Um, I have approximately 12 people on staff. So that's between here and the Exodus house. And that is 12, 13, counting Jackson. And I haven't counted myself. Like no CEO in the first few years of business really has a salary. But my child needs to go to school and she needs to have food. So I have to make sure that I have the resources to feed my picnic. Right? But yeah, so huh. Magamini Rashid was banned. I didn't mean to do it. How did I? Oh, I banned somebody by accident. Oh, oh boy. Magamini, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to ban you. I just touched the screen on the side. So Polesana. Um, but in any event, yeah, there is a lot that goes into it, and a lot of like fine tuning, paying attention, close attention to cost and loss, paying close attention to like, okay, what is coming in the door versus what is going out. At this point, I would rather sell, if I sell 4 plate of good oxtail every day, it it is probably better than selling 10 plate of something that isn't going to really draw the people them in. So I'm gonna have to think about, okay, where is the most bang for the buck? Where is people going to say, oh wow, this is great, I'm gonna tell a friend. So the food is its own advertising. So I'm excited about that. The other thing I'm excited about, so this is now June, right? And we are picking back up because I'm past construction with this place. I'm past like the really difficult hurdles of like pushing out this project. When you see me push out a project, believe me, it is like giving birth, right? It's the same mentality, like what is the baby going to look like? How is the baby going to eat? How am I going to feed the baby? When will the baby walk? All these things, and it takes a long time to get everything ironed out and pinned down to how it should be and how it should work. And you can't sleep upon knowing the industry that you're getting involved in. So we are running a CMOS cafe, yes, but we are running a restaurant as well. Um, CMOS was not enough to handle a place like this size. It's not enough to carry this rent. So the purpose really primarily about this place is like having number one, a local visibility, introducing it to the local market, a place where people can actually come and consume it rather than, oh, I read about it or I'm gonna go somewhere and buy it and then carry go put it down in my house like decoration. So it's a point of consumption. And the images that I take out of this helps me to promote and develop the social media for the brand. So there are many things happening here. There is a product, there is a branded product, Wani Mama, and there is a restaurant that goes along with it. So we're finally ready to, at least I think I'm ready to pick up back the reins on shipping the CMOS out to the United States. So this company, the East African Seaweed Company, we hold our export licenses. We hold all the government documentation in order to export our CMOS. So we're not just a restaurant. Through um, the consumption, the mass consumption of CMOS, we're able to do more for the farmers. So primarily that is our objective, is to grow the industry, expand the industry, as well as bring more business and prosperity to the seaweed farmers. So with that being said, we are looking for partners. We're looking for shipping partners, partners who are ready to purchase their CMOS in bulk to be shipped to the United States. If you would like us to drop ship, if you would like us to take your packaging and stuff it with the CMOS and send it stateside or wherever you are, let me know. So we do have that in our packaging. So for those of you who don't know, the way to email me is Exodus Africa 1 at Gmail. Yeah. And then, these Tanzanian folks, these people up here in Masaka, we close at 9 p.m. You know what them do? Them wait till 8:41 before them come through the door. But that's the name of the game in the business. But there it has been well received, and I am very proud of it. I'm very proud of myself, for what I've been able to accomplish out of this spot. But at the same time, I am one person. I have a vision that I'm holding on to, which is expanding and growing the industry, and bringing the farmers prosperity as we grow our own export business of the CMOS. So That's the vision that I'm holding on to. It is not very easy. It's not easy because there are many ways of doing things in Tanzania. Not all of them are the right way. And um, I just don't, what's the word? I think the onus is on me to use what I know and the gifts that I've been given and what I have to try to make things better for other people. So I personally can't see myself just getting up and say, yeah, me all right. And, me can export, and me good, and me nice, and me Chris. And, when you know that coming down the road is traceability, like where is it coming from? A lot of people are purchasing CMOS thinking it's coming from one source when it is not. There is a lot of exploitation. There is a lot of confusion. There is a lot of things that are happening that should not happen. Um, and, the farmers are the ones who are paying the price. The cost of CMOS at farm gate has not increased in over 15 years. So here I am on my ethics trying to see if I can make change. And it's difficult because we're a young company. We don't have there are no incentives here. There are no government incentives. There are no government tax holidays. And let anybody tell you that a tax them in a Tanzania is unnatural. It really genuinely is. So it's expensive and it's ridiculous. And it's pretty much, it is what it is, right? So if you want to play this game, I would suggest you look at a company or you look at some people who are out here doing stuff in the field, who are already accustomed to what's going on and how to do it, rather than coming and trying to start your own thing from scratch, because it's no joke and it's very expensive. And you have to really know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're playing Russian roulette with your money. So you really genuinely need to know. You need to either have a consultant, or you need to be here, or you need to have a company who knows what they're doing to get things done. So with that being said, that's what we're looking to do. It's not easy because, like I said, there are no subsidies, there are no incentives, there are no tax holidays, there are no loans because we're under 3 years old, so we are unable to raise funds. Rather than in traditional ways, we have to, work with private investors in order to do that, which in and of itself is not always easy. I have to consistently fundraise, despite, waking up at 4 a.m. and cooking and seeing about JoJo, and then doing all of the other paperwork that I need to do. Um, there is no room in there for me and my needs and the things that I need to do to stay well, like workout and exercise, so that I can be able to be here long enough to do what I need to do. So I have to consistently be fundraising. And this thing, didn't have to take 6 months. It took 6 months because it took me 6 months to raise the funds. It took me 6 months to be able to pull it all together, and as you know, in Tanzania, your rent is paid in 6 months increments. So we paid our 6 months rent, and then there's another 6 month rent coming. And so, there's a lot that goes into it, but it comes down to your mental fortitude. It comes down to you knowing who you are and knowing that, the ancestors got this, because it sure ain't me. No, I'm joking. No, you have to stay strong. You have to stay strong in yourself and know that there is an energy and a power beyond just yourself. Because if you think of just you alone, if you think of just, oh, I'm alone and it's me alone that is doing this, and I'm driving, well, 2 hours each way to get here, and I'm cooking and I'm doing everything, and I have all these people depending on me. And you think, oh, if we think about that, you're mad. Me, we're mad. So you have to think about all of the other things that are working for you rather than working against you. You have to have some concept of, and I think I said it in the last video, you have to have some concept that there is more. There is more out there. There is more than just this. You have to have a concept that God is carrying you. Maybe God took you through some things before, and He will continue to take you through some things after. You know, when I opened, it wasn't like, oh, I got everything in place and it's time to open. No, that's not what happened. What happened was I was sick and tired of spending and spending and spending and spending a ridiculous amount of money to do things, and I needed to open. I had to open to at least put it out there, because we were spending way too much time doing everything that had nothing at all to do with cooking. And the cash was just going like, okay, construction, okay, this person needs this for electrical work, oh, this, you need to buy more cement to do this, oh, you need, no, 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 no. And I was like, I couldn't. There is a point when you're like, no, no, it's gonna do what it do. I don't care if I have to stand on the side of the road and jerk some chicken at that mega do. So, I said, okay, we open, and where we have to, it was just like jumping into the fire and like seeing how it burns. And now that I know how it burns, I know exactly like how to do what I need to do. But, like I said in the last video, this is a franchise. This is not something that I created to be like the owner operator of like a mass amount of chains. What I designed can be transported, it can be taken, the concept can be taken, the menu items, the menu offerings, the way how I put things together, the way how I am able to get people to consume more of the CMOS. Those things are a unique design and a unique feature that I think that if someone wanted to take our brand and our name and then have us supply them the CMOS in the United States, whether that is in a restaurant or in a food truck or in a corner store, that would be fantastic. So, because number one, you're dealing with the supplier, and number two, you're dealing with a model that is pre-existing. So it's not something that you have to build out of thin air. Like the scary part of building a business from scratch in a foreign country. Oh, the things I do. That scary, that part has already been done. Okay, the concept has already been created. The menu, the way forward has already been designed. So if you are interested in starting something or doing something of your own surrounding this CMOS, and like I said, it is a multi-billion-dollar industry. The American market, as far as seaweed consumption, is just heating up. People are learning more and more every day about what they can do with it. Now that we Jamaican people who have been using it, and grandmother use it, which I find flabbergasting. Like, how is it that people are just learning about this thing? How is it that a lot of Africans, Tanzanians don't know much about it? It's just like shocking, but it is what it is. So that I've been using it, and I used it for myself when I was diagnosed with my brain tumor. I used it with JoJo when I conceived her, when to conceive her, that's number one. And number two is it was beneficial in her baby food. So there is a way that I made her baby food with the CMOS, and that is all she got. I could not keep her in America and give her nothing out no cannon or buckle, especially going through my own health scare and knowing what I knew, that the CMOS was beneficial. So I decided to take Jojo back to Jamaica when she was 1 month old, naturalized her in Jamaica, and gave her only natural food, which consisted of her sea moss. So how I prepared the sea moss, I used cocoa, oats, a banana, and a little bit of honey. And in Jamaica, we have this thing called glucose powder. You tip a little in of that, a little bit of that for sugar in the space of sugar. But that was her baby food, right? So when I saw this thing coming up on the beach at the Exodus house, to me it was like, okay, great. Let me see what I can do. And then when I started the company, to find out that okay, there is so much problems, so much exploitation in it. I thought, okay, I know enough what to do on how to bring attention and how to bring consumption and how to spark the industry, the growth of the industry. But I can't do it alone. Right? I think I've done a lot on my own. Don't you think? Don't you honestly think that I've done a lot by myself? Yes, I think I have. I think I have. And I'm not saying I'm pausing here and giving up. I'm just saying that in the spirit of mental health, per, uh, conservation, and perseverance of my own happiness and sanity, that I I need other people who can see what I'm doing, what I've done, and is willing and able to continue doing this with me, right? I am only one person. And yes, I'm a powerful person, but I am also only human, okay? So for those of you who are interested, thank you, Sinclair. Yes. Thank you, Ricardo. Big up yourself. Yeah, I have done a lot. I have done a lot. If you haven't followed me or you're just seeing me for the first time, I moved to Tanzania in the height of the pandemic in July of 2020. 1 month after coming, I signed a lease on a 4-acre piece of beachfront property that was completely in demise, and I did construction on that project for 9 months to make it a home for people to repatriate and return to Africa if they so desired. And I still run that property. And while operating that property is when I saw the CMOS. I went to the government. I asked for a special license to collect it because it's a special nutrient dense CMOS. And they said, yeah, sure, no problem. But you should also know there is a lot of exploitation, a lot of poverty, a lot of issues surrounding this, and we need people like you to get involved because the villagers are suffering. There are people who are suffering. And I'm like, what is everybody talking about? So I connected with the World Wildlife Fund to get some insight on what exactly is happening. And they really shared, the deep issues of what's happening on mainland Tanzania. That the majority of sea moss that comes from Zanzibar is not necessarily coming from Zanzibar, but being purchased from the impoverished villages along coastal mainland Tanzania and then brought to Zanzibar and sold. So, the sea moss in Zanzibar suffer from a disease called ice. And ice disease pretty much takes out like complete farms, but at the same time Zanzibar continues to increase in sales. And it's like saying, oh, all of the sugar cane in Jamaica burnt down 1 year, but we managed to sell 10 times more than we ever had. So it's coming from somewhere, right? Where is it coming from? And so I took myself and my money, and I went to the southern coastal districts on my own expedition to see exactly what was happening. And okay, poverty is one thing, but the remoteness of these locations to say these people have no access to transportation, there is no position of bargaining, and a lot of people are in destitution and they're just like farming because there is nothing else to do, and they bend in the sun. Most of them don't have shoes, some don't have gloves, they don't have hats, and it's like, okay, I in good conscience can't see myself being involved in this industry and not try to make make change. So, that's in a nutshell, pretty much what's going on. So the development of this place was also something I thought of last year. Like, okay, what we need to do is take this CMOS from being something so quiet and so like folk and so, oh, well, I never heard about that, to putting it on the front page. So I wanted to put it in the supermarkets, couldn't get in. They wanted barcodes, they wanted everything. I did that, still couldn't get in. They said they don't know the product. Okay, still can't get in. I tried getting a store, a kiosk at the mall, couldn't get one. We don't know you, we don't know your product. Tried getting a place at the airport. We don't know you. We don't know your product. We've never seen this before. We've never heard it. So when I was just about giving up that notion, um, I was looking for a place to do the packaging from, because we can't talk about export unless you're talking about a packaging facility. You need to have a space in which you can stuff and package your export goods, right? So whether that's a warehouse or whatever. So I found one property that was a warehouse type, and the landlady was very shisty. And then I found this property, which, kind of turned the entire project like this way. Like I was going this way and it went like this way. Like, no, this is the way you should go. So for what rent is in Masaki, I would say this was good. Okay. Um, not cheap, but for Masaki, for where we are, which is like saying Mayfair to you people in the UK and Fifth Avenue to you people in America. So for this area, uh, the rent was okay enough that, okay, I figured that I could do it. Um, but CMOS is not enough to carry the space, so I realized that we're gonna have to be cooking. When I say we, I mean me. So I'm also the company marketer. I develop the website. I build the, I create the marketing, all of the marketing campaigns, all of the little videos. I make them. I design the packaging, which is not easy. Okay, not easy at all. And um, basically everything that needs to be done between building the thing from the ground up to um, everything in between there. And in Tanzania, there's a lot that physically requires your presence. So it's not like you can outsource certain things to someone else. You have to physically go to the tax people. You have to physically do things to like keep up your license. You have to physically go there. It's your picture, it's your ID, it's your everything. It's your likeness, it's you, right? So all of that stuff, and then we started this about 2 weeks ago. So far it's been good, and I'm the designer. I designed these seats. I designed the entire look and feel of the place. Some of these lights, I painted them. So a lot of the things that are here, I designed them. So a lot goes into what I've done. So yeah, I've done a lot, but I really think that I need now people who are strong. I need about 10 more of me. I need about 10 more of me. I need 10 more. I'm just going to ask y'all to come through with your strength here. All right. This is an industry that we ourselves can take for ourselves. We're planting it, we're exporting it, we're consuming it. This is an industry that we, people of color in the States, in the Caribbean, in Canada, in the United Kingdom, in Africa, can take for ourselves and grow an entire pipeline from the farm to the table. Yes, that is what we have done, from the farm to the table. But I can't do it alone, so I'm recruiting soldiers coming from near and far. I choose executing. Selassie I works and build Rastafari troops. Here comes trouble. Yes. So, may I recruit? See if you know. So this is the brand. Okay. Money Mama. This is the CMOS. Okay. I designed it so the mermaids are playing in the seaweed. All right. Me design it. So we have a brand and a product. And we have multiple product streams to go along with the brand. This is our wild species, One Mama. Okay. So the brand, the consumption, we have it, right? Wait, let me see if I can. No, that light that's too bright. Let go back out the door. Hmm. Yeah. Hold on. Uh huh. See that? That's it. Wani Mama. All right. And you can Google it. Wani Mama Jamaican Restaurant, Dar es Salaam. And for those of you who have been, thank you so much for coming. Please write a review. Yep. So Ricardo said, "Here comes success." Yeah, man. Me. I'm going to go out on a limb and acknowledge my humanity. Okay. Me want not wheat. Well, I have done it, but what I wanted to do was to get the place to a point where people can actually see and get it. Me can just say, yes, I want to do this, right? Me can just say, you know, this is my concept of how I would like the food to be prepared and how I would like people um, to consume the sea moss. I can say it, but when you can see it, and you also can see that I'm a person who does the work, who does what I said I'm going to do, right? Because this project is privately financed by investors in the diaspora, and is them, trust that, okay, she is doing what she said she is going to do, and she is a person of action, and she's putting out work. And so I have not failed in any which way as far as doing the things that are required of me, right? um, but at the same time, I need more guns. I need bigger guns. I need people who are looking to take the CMOS. I need people who are looking to bring the brand to the States or to wherever. I need people who are interested in doing the what do you call it? In doing the franchise. I need people who are looking to invest in what I've done, to see it continue to grow. Because at this point, the kind of work that is required to do this, I need at least 3 more senior employees. I need someone who is in social media, who can also be a secretary to help me with the paperwork and the communication with the people. I need someone who is on top of the government and the taxes and the management of the entire staff and company, of all the details that happen in and out, right, on a day-to-day basis. Um, and what else I need? I need a master for the packaging, right? You know, like the Exodus house, that is a huge, huge piece of land. The house is a lot to maintain. There is no way around it. There is no like, well, I'm not going to do that. We have salt air that if you don't take care of it, the salt air will eat it pretty much. You know, we have maintenance that goes into that. We have drying sheds. We have our own drying sheds. We have our own drying tables. We have our own everything. But at the same time, you know, I can only be in one place at a time, and I'm either here cooking, making sure that the service is superior, or I'm there on top of the, you know, the staff outside or the staff inside. I cannot be in two places at the same time. So I need to hire more people, and I need more partners and more investors. Me, Renee, canned everything, and I think I've done a lot by myself. So for those of you who've been on the fence, those of you who are looking to get involved in CMOS, please go ahead and send me an email. This is my email address, exodusafrica1@gmail.com. I know I'm an inspiration to a lot of folks, and I'm an inspiration to myself as well. And I genuinely appreciate your kind words, your messages, your WhatsApp, your communication. Those of you who have, you know, stepped up when I needed, and come through when I when I hollered. You know, I can't tell anyone how much like people have like really shown out for me. So but at this point I'm past just me. Like all these pretty shiny appliances, right? These are millions of T-shillings worth of appliances. It's not like in America where anything is made there and you can just say, oh, I can just go on down to Walmart and buy it, and I can just pick up everything in the set at once, and ooh, it's done. It's not like that. It's not like that. For each and every item, whether that's disposable, not disposables, or cutlery or whatnot, you have to go to like 1,000 different places. And then everyone has like everyone is price gouging. Everyone is price gouging. So, you know, that puts a spoke in your wheel. Sometimes you're like, yeah, I'm getting there. And then you're like, no, I'm not. You know, but yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. You know, and would I get up tomorrow and do it again? If I had to do this all over again, would I do it again? Knowing what I know now, I would say I would do it if I knew what I was getting into. And I kind of did, because the Exodus house, I didn't know what I was getting into. From a project perspective and a construction perspective, I knew what I was getting into. From a third world perspective, to say, okay, it's like this, it's like that, I knew what I was getting into. But as far as like migrating to a country that I don't speak the language with a child and doing a construction project while in film school, um, you know, how would I know what I was getting into? I wouldn't know. I couldn't know. But it has prepared me. So the space in between the Exodus house construction building and then this has helped me to understand, like, yo, this is the deal. But also, it's not like we just said, okay, we're going to go and open a restaurant in Masaki. No, I thought that's what was going to happen. That's not what happened. When you own a company and you open a second of that company, it's a branch. And in Tanzania, it's like registering the company all over again. So you keep the same company registration. However, you must get a new business license. You must get new tax documents. You must get, a ton of more stuff and expensive paperwork. And then everything has to be signed, sealed, sent back, this, that, and the third. Then you have to go to different entities to get different things to be able to present to one other entity to get something else. And it's exhausting. Thank God I had Jackson to help me through some of that process. But again, with help, there is a financial responsibility because labor has to be paid for. There's no freebies. I don't have like a ton of cousins where I can say, "Hey, come and do this for me," and it's not like that, right? Everything is pretty much transactional, right? So you have to be ready for that if you're gonna come out here and do anything. So with that being said, I would probably say, yeah, um, I knew what I was getting into, but just the overall cost of things is just, I wish somewhere in Tanzania they put like an itemized list for the cost of what every single thing is. People don't know what they're into unless they're in it, right? And it's very difficult to stay on the outside and say, well, this one did this or this one did that, but you don't know how they're doing what they're doing. And that's the beauty of Tanzania. There's 1,000 ways to do the same thing, and none of them are wrong. Not all of them are right, but none of them are wrong because nothing is like this is the way, right? So, anywho, that is my update on what has happened. I am so sorry for those of you who are like, oh, I ain't hear nothing from you either. Yeah, I've been cooking, honey. I've been cooking. I've been cooking and preparing. When I leave here at night, I go home if and I start the prep for the menu the next day. The kitchen here is very small, so if I'm baking or if I'm making certain kind of foods, I start the prep at home, and then I go to bed around midnight. Then I wake up at 4 a.m. And so I could get a jump on what needs to be done, and so yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on that I'm like missing out, but I feel like I had a good lunch crowd today. I don't know if these folk waiting for the last minute to come through, but a lot of people now what they're doing is they're like pre-ordering, like, okay, I'm gonna come and pick up my food at 1 p.m. A lot of people are what do they do? Like they would say, okay, I'm going to come tomorrow. What's your menu? So you have to prepare that menu beforehand, especially for this person because they're coming. So there's a lot that goes into that. And then when you're cooking, right, and especially if you're cooking specialty food, Jamaican food is specialty food. If y'all don't know, it's specialty food, right? You have to have the ingredients. You cannot make certain kinds of food without the ingredients. So you have to source the ingredients. You have to source the ingredients to be and beforehand too. So you have to know all of these little fine details. It's not just cooking. It's not just going into the kitchen and yeah, I'm cooking. Cooking what? Where are you getting it from? How much is it going to cost you? How much are you selling back the meal for? So you have a concept of like, where is your margin? So there's a lot that goes into it. Um, so forgive me for those of you who are like, well, I ain't heard nothing from her. I'm out here soldiering through, but like I said, I would like to see more people like me um, who are looking to get involved in this industry, grow this industry, help me to row this boat, right? You can see what I've done. You can see the direction in which I'm going. You understand the concept. You can see, look in your own neighborhoods and see that this thing is growing and only growing further. But we need to make sure that we are not, our consumption is not also the source of oppression for African women, right? So that's where I would like to leave it. For those of you who have not gone to our Instagram page, it's at Wani Mama Masaki. And for those of you who are in Masaki who've come through here, big up on yourself, because you folks are amazing. It's real. The people who come here are the people who live in the neighborhood, who have been walking by for 6 months. Like, you open yet? You have any food? When are you opening? And when we open, they show that they've been coming, and they come today, and they come back tomorrow, and they come back tomorrow, and that is always a good sign. It's always a fantastic sign. I know that Jamaican food is powerful, but I had no concept of like how much people, tie like their memories to food. Like, one guy came and his mom is from Trinidad, and he's like, "Can you make me some curry chicken?" I'm like, "Oh yes, of course." And just like, "Oh wow, that is exactly what my mother would make. This is exactly how it would taste." So, those things in itself are small rewards for doing something else, because I didn't realize how much of an impact feeding people has, right? So, anywho, 7:39. I think we're gonna get out of here in an hour and a half. I hope. I'm thinking. No more oxtail in the day. So if you're watching, thinking you can come for no oxtail, we ain't got no more. Okay. Curry goat. Maybe we have one serving left. What else? But we have some other delicious things. We have jerk chicken platter. Go on our Instagram account, have a look, see what we're doing, and connect with me. You have my email address here as well. Okay, like I said, I cannot do it alone. I have arrived at the place where I know I need some other people to be stepping strong with me. And thank you for those who have stepped strong with me to get here. But we need some people who can help us get to the moon, right? Because we have done a lot. So the foundation is here. The difficult part is behind us. Let's see what we could do together. Okay. Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Ricardo. Ricardo says many will try, but if you are chosen to do the work you do, that's fantastic. And I think, and I take pride in that privilege. All right, I take pride in that privilege, knowing that I was chosen, and I was chosen for a reason, because my expectations are to yes, Ricardo, please do. Yeah, my expectations is high. People have high expectations of me, and I want to make sure that I am consistently putting out the things that go with my name, which is quality, trustworthiness, doing everything that I said I was going to do. And for any reason that I cannot fulfill a portion of what I said I was going to do, there is a valid reason behind it. But me primarily, I like working. I love doing the work. I love getting the results. I love seeing the results. But I'm at a place right now where I need more eyes, more hands, more people, that I'm able to take on in a more consistent way. This place needs me. Okay, it's like a young baby. you know you need to feed it and nurture it and grow it, and then when other people see how well you nurture your baby, then they will also take care of your baby, right? So, and while I'm doing that, my actual baby is at home. by herself. Well, not by herself with our data, but she's not with me. So, it's a and talk of her, she just called. So I didn't come to Tanzania for that. I came to, be visible and present um, with her. And I'm way out here 1 hour away. So need more hands, more eyes, more folks, more people. I need whether that's a VC who can come in, with a strong equity input, or people who are looking to take the product, or people who are looking to take the brand. Need your help. Okay. All right. Thank y'all so much for watching. Bye bye. Go check out our Instagram. You'll like the food. The food nice. All right, y'all. Bye bye.